Yo guys, as requested, I'm going to review the video called Unrealistic Male Body Standards Are Deadly.
If you search Google for the perfect male physique, something interesting shows up. The same for men's health. This wasn't always the case. Now, let me close those tabs before I start getting strange looks again. But many are calling this phenomenon one of the biggest threats to the fitness industry. And this isn't coming from people that just want an excuse.
The fitness industry itself is a threat to humanity, especially men, seeing as it's very unhealthy.
Used to be lazy.
Unhealthy relationship with food. I don't court a banana. I don't.
Nor is it coming from the give yourself a hug type people.
Yeah, they're there, Cookie Monster.
In fact, the people speaking out are heavily incentivized to shut up and smile. And most do. But the more you listen, the more you realize a harsh truth.
For an increasing number of men and boys, this otherwise benign desire to be more attractive transforms into something categorically disordered.
This is a systemic problem, too taboo for television, that the human brain isn't built to recognize, often until it's too late.
No, there's no short secret recipe for it. You just have to.
Don't do this at home. I don't ever want to be in that good a shape again.
It's not natural.
There's not many drug use or abuse issues where you get complimented so much.
They see it on the
He said that he never wants to be in such a so-called good shape anymore, which really just means that it's an unnatural shape, and to get there you usually have to take drugs.
small screen on their phone. They see it on the big screen in Hollywood movies. It's in their hands when they're a f***ing toddler.
So yeah, I decided to start training.
Don't compare yourself to these people, because they're probably lying to you anyway.
You need to pull your head out your ass and understand.
It takes its toll.
It's not right, is it? I know it's not right, but I can't say for sure that this is going to stop.
So, how did body dysmorphia become so widespread and deadly? But more importantly, why are more people not speaking about this? What is the perfect male physique? For me growing up, it was something like this. Health magazines suggest the same. Over time, this ideal has morphed towards something leaner and more muscular.
Trust me.
Hollywood films make this clear. Similarly, with reality TV shows. Female dolls are criticised for becoming unrealistic, but male dolls are arguably even worse. Looks like he's about to unveil the iPhone. 30 years later, he looks more like a bodybuilder. Early Luke Skywalker besides modern Skywalker. Batman besides modern Batman. You get the point. If we ask AI to show us the ideal male physique, a similar image is painted. There's a clear ideal becoming more and more extreme. So, what are we seeing here? These are the men of the would-be tribe, showing their slender bodies, white teeth and eyes in a beauty pageant to win the attention of the female judges. This is what the peak male looks like in the Bodai tribe, where the men compete to be the fattest. Ancient Greek statues depict a lean muscular body as desirable, while traditional Japanese culture associates masculinity with self-discipline, loyalty and honor. To identify the physical ideal, we need to understand what beauty is. The Oxford Dictionary defines it as the quality of being pleasing to the senses or to the mind. And looking across different cultures, the ideal seems to vary and change over time.
This is not true. What's beautiful to your senses when it comes to looking at somebody is the human being's face. Women love to look at the face of a handsome man. That's what they fall in love with. They don't look at Arnold Schwarzenegger's muscles. No girls out there have posters of Arnold Schwarzenegger on their walls. Nobody actually finds it beautiful. It's only something that modern slave men aspire to achieve, and that's because of the brainwashing from the media, which he already mentioned shortly.
Social media and the internet have erased cultural boundaries and created a highly competitive environment where only the most extreme stand out. This emphasis on leanness and muscularity isn't just a Western thing, it's gone global. We are witnessing the homogenization of the ideal male physique.
It's not really global. For the most part, it's in the US, and because the US has influence on a lot of countries through their media, it's most definitely also in Europe. But outside of Europe, it's not in Africa, it's not in Asia, Central Asia, East Asia. It's not in the Arabic countries, it's not in the Muslim countries whatsoever. This is only really popular in the worst countries on earth. The US, which is by far the worst country on earth, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and all of the European Union countries. They want people to be sick in those specific countries. They want you to die as quickly as possible. That's why it's promoted there specifically. They don't really care about the other countries, and I'm not allowed to talk on YouTube why those countries are targeted.
What some refer to as hypermasculinity. Even society's ideal men seem to be getting stuff done to achieve this.
There's been a lot of talk about, red pill and self-improvement, creating your hypermasculine character. Looking like you swallowed a shovel is probably not the answer.
The psychology that somehow would have led to this guy thinking he needs a jaw implant or something.
Oh, he got a jaw implant. His jaw looked incredibly strange, unnatural. Wow.
I can't even fathom.
A self-improvement can absolutely go too far.
We aren't just talking Greek statue physiques. That was passed long ago. From facial aesthetics to height and muscle definition, some of the methods men are using to achieve such ideals you might find disturbing. That smile you see is from a man who just had his bone shattered in a surgery to add 2 inches to his height. A painful procedure that more and more men are getting. Although Mukesh recorded the physical pain as a 9 out of 10, he stated it was less than the emotional pain he felt when people mocked him for his height.
We'll get rid of those love handles too.
Yes, I can understand where these guys come from, but I would never recommend doing it because some people end up not being able to walk after these surgeries, seeing as they are risky, and all that you're going to do is lengthen your legs, not your overall body. People who are tall have an overall taller body. They also have a taller torso and so on. Only having taller legs is going to make you look strange. You could hide it, but it's not worth it at all.
Other men are getting abdominal implants, with some injecting oil into their muscles. Each year, over 2 million Americans have cosmetic surgery, a number that's rising, with many...
The reason everybody is getting cosmetic surgery is because our genes are being destroyed by bad foods, but also by something else recent, which I won't mention. Some people had ancestors who ate raw animal organs, a lot of liver, vitamin A, which is what you need for development. They drank blood. That's why they still look good, whereas other people were not even breastfed at all. That happens a lot nowadays, where they were breastfed for only 2-3 months. Maybe their mother or father wasn't breastfed. That's how you end up looking somewhat deformed.
Trying to achieve an instant boost in muscularity.
Total spent on my body modifications is $950,000 US.
Now, people can do as they please, but for many...
Man, she looks crazy bad. I don't know how people come to the conclusion that that looks somehow attractive.
One cycle or surgery is never enough. Bigorexia is a dysmorphia people have, where they never see themselves as muscular enough.
Really, I'm very curious as to why my waist is thicker than usual. Upper chest needs work. Why is my waist so thick? My arms just aren't big enough in comparison to my chest and my back.
Of course, this can lead them down a path of steroid abuse.
Oh, let's ask the average person what they think. Let's stop asking the average person what they... Do you know how f***ing stupid the average person is?
Yeah, that's funny. The average person applauds the average slave. They really don't realize it, just oblivious.
This is known as the Dunning-Kruger effect, where people with low experience in an area tend to overestimate their ability or knowledge. Regardless of how smart you are, if you're part of the human species, you're susceptible to your cognitive biases being exploited. Dr. Pope has documented cases of men quitting prestigious jobs, people smashing their own faces with a hammer to qualify for plastic surgery, and others dying from disordered diet and exercise regimens. Although these are extreme examples, this was over 20 years ago, and we've seen many more cases since. Pope suspects unrealistic standards driven by the media is what's fueled the rise of the Adonis complex.
Yes, I've done steroids.
But here's the catch. When beauty is so subjective, the ideals so extreme, the effects are fatal. Today's children are growing...
Beauty isn't actually subjective whatsoever. Everybody knows what is beautiful naturally when it comes to looking at men or women. Every woman on earth is gonna tell you that Brad Pitt, for example, looks attractive. You will never find anybody who will say that he doesn't. Some may find him a tiny bit more attractive than others, and that depends on what experiences they had in life or where you come from. But still, they would never say, oh, he's unattractive. So beauty is, of course, very objective, seeing as it's something that's naturally created. You're created the way you're supposed to look like, except, of course, if you have some genetic faults, which is mostly caused by the food, which our ancestors said. Of course, modern medicine is also not helping now.
I'm a 14-year-old, and I'm thinking about taking 50 milligrams of Deca per week for 4 weeks. I know about the side effects on adults, but not in teens. Is there any side effects I should know? I'm a 16-year-old boy, currently undergoing cosmetic limb lengthening surgery. I don't think I know what's best for me yet, but I absolutely cannot see myself regretting this decision. Sometimes unorthodox and drastic solutions are the best ones. I'm 15 years old and recently found out about SARMs. My goal is to gain more muscle and get leaner. I'm 5'11" and 145 pounds currently. My main concern is whether or not I should take Ligandrol, considering my age. These are just a few people, on public forums, about to make life-altering decisions, with many going through with it.
So yeah, I decided to start trying.
Whoa, dude. What did you just say?
We're witnessing extremely young kids take puberty-altering performance-enhancing drugs, with parents suspected to be giving it to their children as young as 6 for a chance to make it in Hollywood.
I had heard about this guy. That was long ago. I was still a kid myself when I heard about him. He's also grown up now. He used to take some kind of drugs, supposedly, because of his father. He was very young. I didn't know that so many 14, 15-year-olds are using drugs now. That's actually surprising to me. I don't know why it's surprising. Really, it shouldn't be, because everybody is being influenced by social media nowadays. They see these unnatural bodies, and it's unnatural because you're not actually able to naturally achieve these kind of bodies, and that's because it's actually unattractive. You're not supposed to look like that. Women don't find it attractive whatsoever. The only people that you will attract will be other men. If you want attention from other men who have been brainwashed themselves also, then I guess that's how you're gonna get this attention. But if you want attention from women, then stop it right now.
There's not many drug use or abuse issues where you get complimented so much.
And even people trying to do things more naturally.
Yes, that's a very good point. People who use these kind of drugs are being complimented, whereas people who use heroin, cocaine, whatever, are usually not being complimented. It's not the norm, but this is being promoted by the media, and that's why it's accepted. If you would see people who take cocaine, which will have the effect of you being able to think much clearer, if you would see this being promoted in the media, then people would maybe also look up to them. People look up to steroid users because of the promotion, and the steroids are not the only drugs that they use. There's so many nowadays. It's a very big business for the people who create these drugs, the ones who sell it, then the people who are advertising these bodies. They get a lot of ways to make money.
Suffering.
I know I look like complete rubbish, right? When you train every single day for like 2 hours, do a load of steps, get like 4 hours sleep, you have no team to support you, and everything is being done just by you. It takes its toll.
In life, there is this feeling that we all live with inadequacy. There is this call to achieve.
Yes, Scott Murray is this guy who overtrained, which is why he died very early. He did look very sick, especially at the end.
And to go beyond all expectations, to outperform other people, to measure oneself against a panoply of influencers and gurus, to work ridiculously long hours.
Scott was one of the more wholesome fitness YouTubers, doing much of the things we see Hollywood boast about. Yet, it seems to have contributed to his early death.
But I've set it up, you're gonna think I'm gonna roll up. Oh shit.
I remember seeing a 19-year-old die of a heart attack in the local paper. 4 different steroids were found in his system, with a suspected enlarged heart a contributing factor. Similarly to bodybuilder Dallas
Yeah, The Rock. And The Rock, I reviewed a video of he's actually said that he works out for longevity. He makes an interview which millions of people are gonna see for a man's health. What a joke. And then he said he works out for longevity. His father already died early, and he still doesn't understand? No, he probably does, and he understands that the drugs he takes are unhealthy, but for whatever reason, I assume that there's somebody behind him. He's not allowed to actually talk about what happens when you use drugs or even overtrain without drugs.
Carver, who collapsed on stage, recovered, and sadly passed away with a heart almost 3 times the size it should have been.
A lot of people are speculating how much testosterone was this guy.
Also an interesting point, your heart stretches when you do cardio. Most people don't seem to understand that weightlifting is cardio by every definition of the word. Your heart rate increases, your cardiac output increases when you lift weights, and that's why your heart stretches out. If you do steroids, you lift even more, you eat more, and your heart gets bigger and bigger until your heart fails. That's a normal, natural response to that much stress. You gotta understand that if you lift really heavy and you go to the gym a lot, it's the same as running a marathon. you don't understand this, then really look into what cardio actually is.
Actually injecting to get a 55,000 nanogram per deciliter total T.
There's tributes on YouTube for all of the bodybuilders who pass away. Each year, the age is getting lower.
Someone is literally going to have to die on stage before something changes in bodybuilding.
Maybe these are extreme cases, but if you actually listen to what the very celebrities many look up to are saying, a very different side gets presented.
It's hard to look like, even if you do work out, to be that kind of in shape is not natural.
The way they achieve their rapid transformations is often highly unsustainable.
For guys, that's unrealistic, I'm telling you.
Zac Efron actually went through a phase of depression and insomnia after his brutal drug-assisted Crash Baywatch regimen. Channing Tatum, Luke Jackson, Ed Sheeran, Tyson Fury developed eating disorders and were warned about their unsustainable practices.
I started noticing it for the first time when I just started rebelling against a gym.
And these people have the top coaches and doctors at their side.
Truly, I don't know how people that work a 9-to-5 actually stay in shape because it's my full-time job and I can barely do it.
When studies are suggesting the majority of men are now displaying...
Yes, it's very hard to stay in shape, and that's because you're trying to stay in an unnatural shape. It's a shape which you can only achieve by working out unnaturally all of the time, a few times a week. You're trying to show to people, and you only do it because you want attention from people, that you stress your body all of the time. That's why your body looks so stressed. In case you don't understand, a body that looks like it's been trained, as in it's been enslaved, training is for slaves, looks very stressed. That's why your muscles grow while you are stressing your body. Somebody who goes to the gym looks like they have been stressing their bodies. They have been lifting man-made metal in a man-made building. That's exactly literally what you see when somebody goes out of the gym. And that's the shape that you're trying to maintain, which you can only do by stressing your body more and more until your heart gives up.
I have respect for anyone who achieves an impressive body transformation, especially if done honestly.
I don't respect it at all. I find it pathetic.
However, unrealistic body standards can have deadly consequences, regardless of where you think this stems from. Many point to Hollywood actors, supplement companies, dolls and clothing companies. I get why some people want to see the fitness industry burn to the ground.
I could somewhat understand people who train and learn how to defend themselves, some kind of martial arts, if we lived in a system where it was actually legal for you to defend yourself. The problem is that even if you do end up defending yourself and somebody attacks you, you will still probably be locked up for defending yourself in most countries on earth. It's very rare that the one who defends themselves doesn't actually get into trouble, which is why even if you learn martial arts, you're still gonna get into trouble for defending yourself in the end. It's still ridiculous to waste your life, stress your heart and shorten your lifespan to learn how to fight, which nobody even in nature does anyway. Humans in nature, I can't even talk about this on YouTube. They do something completely else. There's never been a recorded case of somebody in nature punching or kicking somebody. That's unheard of. They would laugh at you. They would throw themselves on the ground and just laugh when they would see these modern slaves who try to punch somebody. Still, I could somewhat understand that, but going to the gym to lift man-made metal just to get attention from other men, I will never understand it. I will never respect it. It's a joke. Running marathons for no reason, just running in a circle, absolutely no point. Thanks for watching.